So in this we will see about how to approach the practical subjects. Number one thing that you will have to do is that you will have to be talking conceptual clarity. So for which you can either opt for classes or maybe you can go for self-study. Like whatever way that you may choose, you will have to ensure that there is sufficient conceptual clarity. Now if you are choosing classes, then in that case either you can go for regular or you can go for fast track. This totally depends on the time availability and also regarding the depth of concepts that you would like to know. Second thing that you will have to do is that you need to ensure that there is sufficient self-study. Now this you can do along with classes, or in case if you have missed out, then once we are done with the classes, you can do your self-study. And after which you will have to ensure that there is appropriate number of revisions, at least 2 to 3 revisions before you go for the exams. So now along with this revision or with the self-study, you will have to ensure that you give the tests. Tests again, you can either give chapter-wise test, wherein you write test for each chapter, or maybe you can go for unit test, wherein you write test for 2 to 3 chapters at once. And then finally you also have to give full test. Now there is no limit or a standard number that you will have to follow for the test. Basically you can go for the unit test or chapter-wise test as the case may be, depending on the time availability and your study methods. And then along with that you can go for full test. And for this it's better if you opt for test series, and if you can follow the schedule, then you can go for the schedule, or else you can go for the unscheduled test series. And along with that, when it comes to the self-study and revision part, also ensure that you practice RTPs, MTPs, those questions as well, not just your study material questions. So ICA's study material questions are very important, questions are very important. Apart from that, you also ensure that you do the RTP, MTP, etc. Thank you. So generally these are the things that you will have to do. One is conceptual clarity, and then for that you can go for classes or self-study, and then you will have to do the sufficient number of revisions. Along with that, you will have to ensure that you give the tests. Now how can you do 2 to 3 revisions? You will have to plan accordingly. This we will see in the next part. Thank you.